Oh, no way! That's my car? It looks so different. Oh my God. All right, so the problem we face is currently the bull bar I want doesn't exist for this car. So we're gonna have to research, design, and build a bull bar from scratch. And in order to make that happen, we've come down to see our mate Rob at Raslarr Engineering. You might remember he helped out with the Barwork on Lean's patrol build, and he's gonna help make this a reality. Choosing the right barwork for this car was always going to be one of the biggest decisions. After the fresh paint job, it looks like it just rolled off the Toyota production line, but the barwork is where you get to make the 80 series uniquely yours. Alright, so I'm down here with Rob now, and we've got the 80 series on the hoist now. Rob's been flicking me designs back and forth, and we've sort of landed on something that's a bit more modern style, but also something that would suit, you know, a tourer like me, like not like Liam where it's full comp style, a bit more tourer spec.
Yeah, a bit more for the older community, I guess you'd say.
Yeah, but so more sheet metal, less tube, but still
more
have
tourer look.
Yeah, but still having hoops for protection, because obviously it's a bull bar first and all, right? You want it to be able to protect your car on the road against wildlife, other vehicles, the environment. So you sort of want to keep that practicality while giving it sort of the modern look that I'm after. So with a bull bar, I guess the first thing when it comes to designing, where do you start from to sort of, is this like on a piece of paper, you're literally just drawing down designs, or?
Look, it's changed a lot, you know, over the last sort of 10, 15 years. So obviously in my early time, it was literally cardboard, templates, cut something, try it on, you know, hand drilling it.
Yeah.
The world's changed so much in that time. Now we have Aaron, who's the full-time our CAD designer, so we can literally scan a car, come up with like even just the actual look of the bar before you've spent days, if not weeks. You know, you might, you know, make one and go, I don't like it. Now in the computer you can see if you like it. Before you've even wasted all that time, get the actual look down to what you want, suss out mounting and that sort of thing. And then, like we were talking about earlier, you've got to then make a prototype and do a small production run, try them on multiple cars and try and learn all the variables. So.
Yeah, exactly. Because obviously, like, these cars are well Japanese, built in the 90s, but there are tolerances. Like, not every 80 is exactly the same in terms of exact measurements.
And that's one thing in time they haven't got better. So, you know, these, it's not uncommon the width of the rails to be sort of 6-8 mil different in width. Modern cars, you know, a new Patrol, it's common, the bodies can be 10 mil off to one side.
And I guess that leads into the exciting thing we get to do on my car is actually 3D scan it. So that's using that fancy laser gun that's going to obviously shooting stuff at it, getting reflections back off, and builds a 3D model of the car, which then you guys can put straight to the CAD and then build your design off that, get all the measurements right, and then send it out to your boys to actually build. All right, so I'm here with Aaron. Now, Aaron's, how long have you working at Raslarr for?
Nearly 10 years.
10 years, and he's basically one of the main engineers here that designs all the bull bars, does all the 3D scanning, CAD work. So it's really cool. He's the actual one who's designing the bull bar that's going on my car. So it's awesome to have him here that can talk us through all the different stuff about it. So when you started here, did you do 3D scanning, or did you do it the old school way?
When I started here, like, we didn't even have a scanner or anything like that, so everything was, pretty much cardboard.
So this probably allows you to do more complex design work in terms of that you can just stick it on the computer, put in random cuts and shapes and...
Yeah, 100%. Takes all the guesswork out and like all the hard labour, let's be honest.
So in real time you can see it painting...
Pretty much,
Yeah, like discovering all the parts on it. That is awesome.
So you can see your bolt holes and you pretty much build off that. So the scanner hates shiny surfaces like this.
Yeah, right. Because it reflects light, because that's how it works essentially, right? It's shooting out photons, getting the reflection and measuring how fast it takes to get back to the camera, and then obviously measuring depth and all that. So it doesn't like chrome and stuff?
No, it doesn't like chrome. You usually have to spray it with this stuff.
Oh, okay, so it's like
So we'll spray it on.
Yep. Oh, and then we can actually do the grill. Oh,
we'll
cool. Yeah, all right, awesome,
Yeah, so you spray this stuff on, give it a minute or two to basically set.
Yep.
Does it look all right?
Yeah, it's looking good. It's all showing up real good. All right, so now the scan is done, we're going to go up to the office and actually work on the computer. This is probably where you spend a lot of your time actually finishing with the design, getting it perfect. But yeah, go and look at how it's done in CAD, and then we can actually see what this bar is going to start to look like. So let's get up there. Now you showed me, I've been seeing designs that Rod's been sending me of it on a 105 series.
Yep.
You've got, so this is essentially what we're sort of going for. This is the early design of what the bull bar is going to look like. So when we design the bull bar, what are the main considerations you're thinking about when designing it?
So yeah, big ones would be mounting, strength-wise, ADR, all that sort of thing. And then stuff like winch access, recovery points, and then your lights, how they're all going to fit, how they all look. And then obviously overall style and look of the bar. You've always got to factor in like the actual manufacturing.
Yeah.
Fitting of the bar, all of those types of things.
And now that you're doing a lot of the manufacturing work, some of it's like automated. Like we saw down there, the robot grinders, robot welders. Do you factor in how they can help, I guess, make it build the bar as well? Like you might design something that's like, oh, well.
100%.
Yeah.
You know, you've got to figure out how you're going to jiggle this part to make it robot welded or grinded. Doing like a front bar, anything, doing a sample one, it's not easy, but getting it into production is literally a million times harder.
All right, so now that we've got our scan all complete, we know what we want the bar to look like. Now Aaron's got to sit here and lock himself in the room and design it, and then we'll come back when it's time to actually fabricate this bar, because essentially from the CAD, you can then export, I guess, the data you need to send to your various machines, like the laser cutter or the tube bender or whatever, and then from there it's pretty much just starts manufacturing and then assembly, right?
That's it, mate.
All right, cool. All right, well, I'll let you design it and then we'll come back and get it all fabricated. All right, so it's been a few weeks and Aaron's been working hard on the CAD design for the 80 series bull bar, and this is what he's come up with. So it looks absolutely awesome. I'm really happy with how it's turned out. It looks grouse.
One thing we're tossing up whether to finish it in front of the flare or literally we're going to have to cut your flare.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
So that's...
Are we cutting the flare?
Yeah, we'll cut it.
All right, okay.
Like, that's the thing with 80s these days. It's like, you know, they're all, like, people, like, don't really care about that sort of
thing they're happy
as
to
much.
Cut stuff, exactly, to make it look better.
Yeah. With the whole thing of, like, the 80 series, we're trying to, like, cover that.
That indicator.
Yeah, indicator and body there. So
with most other bull bars for the 80, they have to hang really low because they want to keep that indicator showing, but it sort of makes the whole front of the car seem low. So with that look, it'll look pretty aggressive on the car.
Yeah, it'll look pretty sick. So.
Are they indicators or are they?
So yeah, they're fog light and indicators.
And for the winch and stuff, you've got the winch cradle in under there.
Yep. So we've made like a fold-up number plate so you can still access the.
Oh, get to the clutch.
Yeah,
awesome.
Clutch.
Yeah, sick.
And then it should fit any low mount winch.
Yep.
So,
yeah. And then recovery points on the front.
Yeah, recovery points.
Yep.
And then pull little bash plates and then that's it.
That's gonna look grouse. All right, so as well as the front bull bar, we're actually gonna be putting on a new rear bar on the 80 series. So Aaron's been hard at work developing. This is V2 of the 80 series rear bar, because you guys always made rear bars for the 80s, but this is their new one, and the styling looks so good. There's a heap of new features like on this, like the integrated tow bar. Obviously, you can put a bunch of different carries on there, so you guys have like max track mounts on there, jerry cans. You'd even had like I think a drop-down table on some versions of them as well. Yeah, some of the design work, was that fairly simple to put together, or? Yeah.
So we've basically developed a new type of tow bar, which is a bit tricky to get around, but apart from that, pretty straightforward. So. Because
the hardest thing on the 80 series is if you want to put a tow bar on, it has to hang below the chassis essentially, right? And that's what was on my old 80 series before, but it was a massive, when you're forward driving, it's always getting hung up everywhere. It's a massive pain. So the fact that you guys have integrated it into the actual bar itself means that you get that clearance while still retaining, the factory chassis and keeping it all strong and obviously compliant, which is like the main thing. So
another cool thing on the tow bar is we've made this little mount for your trailer plug and stuff.
Oh, that's sick.
Normally they literally screw to the bottom of your tow bar.
Smash they look kind of tacky and they just like get smashed off and covered in filth. And that's awesome. It's gonna look so good once it's got all that set up on. So this is another thing that the boys are gonna all tack up, get all bent up, and we'll get that on the car as well. So heaps of work to do, but all the CAD stuff's done now, which is a huge task off. So good work, Aaron. Now let's start putting this whole thing together. All right, so we're back down here with Raslarr and we're with Rob now, and we've got all the pieces for the bull bar in front of us. Now, it's a bit of a process putting this front bar together because we're using sheet metal, obviously. It's not a tube bar. So I guess just run us through a bit about all these bits we've got to put together.
So we've got our wing assemblies with the fog light housings already in them, our recovery points, obviously winch cradle, uprights, all these bits. So it's easy to get them to a sub-assembly like this where they're all welded and cleaned up. This is as far as we can go without having the jig. So unlike the rear bar where essentially that all tabs together and the only jig we need is for the width of the wings. So that's very quick to jig up. This is quite an in-depth jig. So what we normally do is the first one, we'll actually sort of, I guess, physically make it sort of old school. Then when we're happy with that, Aaron will normally scan the finished bar. and then we can jig off that.
Yep.
And to see how you've made it and how it sits on the car is like...
Exactly. 'Cause it's one thing going from a computer, but then it's like one thing building it in real life and actually test fitting it to the car for the first time. So obviously we got to make sure once it's on the car, we're happy with how all the alignments are and all the gaps and everything. And then, yeah, once we're happy with that, that'll end up being the version you guys mass produce.
100%. So
Yeah.
at this stage, if you went, oh, I really wish that was 10 mil smaller,
Yep.
we can trim it or bring an angle in or
Yep.
whatever. And so sometimes we'll tack them up and pull them apart
Yep.
2 or 3 times.
Yep.
Then we go, right, we're happy with that, and then we go into production.
All right, sweet. So we'll get this all welded up, the lower section, and then once we get that all fit up on the car, then we can start working out our tube work at
Yep.
the top, and then we'll pretty much have a bar.
So yeah, this one will be super exciting. It's our first, so we can go straight from CAD to our CNC bender, like straight off the computer. So I'm pretty keen.
It's gonna be really cool. All right, cool. Let's get into it.
So we left Rob to piece together the front bar and came back the next day to see how it all went.
So everything looks a bit, when they're in raw, I find it hard to get your head around.
Yeah, yeah.
Because sort of like the under trays, that when they're black, they just disappear.
Yeah,
But when you
yeah.
see them like this, you're like, every time we build one, I get a bit nervous.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I know it'll all come together.
You did a good job. It looks freaking
Yeah, this
perfect.
is just a rough cut. I just wanted to get them
Yeah.
just to be able to see it all. But
That's
yeah,
grass.
all the gaps and everything are really, really good. Yeah, I'm pretty excited to paint it.
Oh, it looks so good. Yeah, it
But
looks
yeah,
grass.
pretty cool. It's like, didn't have to touch or adjust it. Like, it's
So the CAD all went pretty well. Like,
perfect. Yeah, it's so cool.
oh, it's gonna look so good, Rob.
Yeah, let's go do a top tube.
Yeah, exactly. Let's do it. All right, so now the bar construction started, we're gonna actually do the bending for the top tube. So this is Rob's really fancy tube bender, and it's computerized and it's amazing. And Rob, tell us a bit about it, because every time I see it, I'm mind blown.
Yeah, so look, this will be the first one where we actually can import the file from CAD. Normally I just have measurements and I've got to work it out. So yeah, basically that'll be your top tube.
Yep.
You've got all your, like the centers dimensions in your table here. So this is where you would program it. You can rotate it round. You can change your angles. So you get rotation,
Yep.
the bend, and the gaps between the bend. So this one's a bit interesting because it's such a compact little bar.
Yeah.
We're actually got to get full, like new tooling made specifically for this car.
Very cool.
So this one's a very unique bar and going to be an expensive one to make.
Yeah.
So, but the beauty of this is once you're set up and it's done, like we can literally print off 50.
Exactly, you smash out
like that,
even.
yeah.
So
So-
this can literally take a straight bit of tube bar and create that just with its automation and
Yeah.
bending. Yeah. Wow.
So yeah, let's
All right, we're going to bend some tube. This is going to be cool. All right, press the big button.
So technically this is running at 8% speed.
8%.
Yeah.
Look how effortlessly it just bends it. And that's the thing, getting this repeatable precision, especially when you have to rotate it and
Yeah.
like trying to do this in a traditional bender and doing 50 of them in a minute.
Oh yeah, it'd be
Like-
impossible. So you'll want to move right back there now. So,
There it goes.
and then it's going to drop down that last little bit.
Yep.
So now it'll let that go. You'll
Yep.
do the last bend. See, pull the mandrel out. It'll come away. And then yeah.
And there we have it.
Yeah, that's it.
I love how it just took us like 30 seconds to bend that and it's on the car.
And then yeah,
Oh, that's sick.
it becomes a bull bar.
Oh, it looks so good.
That's pretty wild. That program is like off the computer. So that normally takes
Yeah.
me like half a day and then like 4 samples
To get
to
that
work
right.
all, yeah.
And now you can just do it through CAD.
That one is number one. Like,
That's so cool.
because with these, it's a full length of tube.
Yeah.
So if you do a few trials,
Yeah.
it's a lot of tube you choose.
No,
through.
exactly right. And you consider that just was first go.
That's number one, which is cool as. So
That's
now we just
wild.
need to pull it all apart, weld her up.
Yep.
Like yours painted is going to look like on another level. Really keen.
I'm so excited, Rob. Oh, it's going to be awesome. So Aaron's seen it in person for the first time. What do you reckon? Turned out all right?
Does it match the drawings?
Yeah, it's pretty much bang on, eh?
Yeah, literally. So a cool, interesting design factor on the new 80 bar is actually how it actually mounts to the car. So you'll see here, it's got a cradle in here. This is where the recovery points go to and where the actual bar itself mounts to. So why did you decide to go this way, Rob, around designing the bar like this?
Well, the biggest thing is Aaron's always trying to build in more adjustment with, especially with these old cars, they vary an awful lot. So this has got up and down, in, out, side to side. You can nip it up to suit your car.
Yep.
So on this sort of setup, you know, the GU's the same. You can put your winch in, fully wire it. One of my pet hates, and we've talked about with Aaron a lot, is most recovery points are never tested inside shear, they're only tested in straight.
Yep.
So when they're vertical, they're obviously exceptional this way,
Right,
but when you winch sideways, it's a lot of load through, you know, a couple of
100%.
bolt holes. Where
Yeah.
at least this way you're fixing it to two surfaces.
Yeah. All right, so the next stage you're going to be actually welding this up. So we can move on the process, get it ready for painting, etc. This bar, you're going to hand weld it, obviously, because of the prototype.
Yep, so this one will be all hand welded. As we move forward, we try and sub-assemble everything, so all the uprights, when we do volume, we'll get robot welded and robot ground.
Yep.
The recovery points and all that, whereas the rear bar, pretty much the whole rear bar can be, like bar putting the wings on can be robot welded.
Yeah, because I remember we visited you guys last year with Liam's patrol when we did the full bar for his car. You just got in the robot welders.
Yeah.
You started using them. And now you guys use them for a heap of different stuff. Like I just saw there's one over there doing recovery points.
I love it for tow bars, recovery points, all those really critical things that you know the repeatability of it.
Yeah.
There's some things obviously a human has to do, and
Yep.
look, a human still has to operate a robot. People get caught up in the, it's replacing a human. It takes a more skilled human to run the robot than to run a welder, but the beauty of it is that it's consistency, especially on like safety things. Like a recovery
exactly.
point.
You knowing that every one leaving is the same as the last,
Yeah.
and you're not having, you know, Friday Arvo welds with a bit all over the place.
I've got a hangover.
That's it. So Rob's gonna get stuck into laying down some tacks on that new tube, and then pretty much, go around, weld up the rest of the bar, and get this thing all ready.
So the boys got stuck into welding up the bull bar and the rear bar so it would all be ready to sandblast, powder coat and paint.
All right, so now the bar's all welded up, it's time to actually sandblast it and start thinking about painting. Now, since the last time we were here, a lot's changed. The setup looks massive.
Yep.
Do you want to give me a bit of a rundown on how this whole thing's gonna work?
Yep, so any small parts will go in the shot blaster.
Yep.
Large parts will go in the sandblaster, get garnet blasted. Then we're going to get hung, so we've got 2 ovens now. So the priming and black process doesn't have to stop, it just continues through.
Right,
so
yep.
first booth it'll get primed, second, which is like a zinc powder coat primer.
Yep.
Then into the second one, it'll get hot coated black, obviously into the last oven.
Yep.
And out we go. And then you also go up to Mick. Mick will paint them, sliders and everything will be finished and straight onto the hoist.
And now, because we're doing a colour match bar on the 80 series for both the bull bar and the rear bar, there's a bit of a process to colour matching, isn't there, Rob?
Yep. So there's 2 aspects to that. The colour match, most people don't realise there's a lot of variance in colours on cars. Like a new Patrol has 14 variants of white in the same colour code, just as an example.
Right,
But another misconception is everyone thinks the par's painted. They're actually all black. Doesn't matter if it's an ARB, doesn't matter what brand, they're all black. And then the colour coding is essentially just a looks part of it.
Right,
so obviously they come up powder coated black from our line.
Yep.
And then there's a tremendous amount of prep that we don't have overspray and stuff all on the inside. So just the bits we want to paint. So
pretty
Mick,
in-depth.
Mick will mask it all and actually sand it all, and then actually go around and fine line all the edges to crisp them up. So you can see there's like fine line tape with multiple levels to get that edge really perfect. It's very challenging to get that all.
There's a fair amount of work that goes into colour coding, but I do think it looks awesome.
It takes it to another level. I absolutely think it's the coolest thing, and it gives the bar like another dimension to you really see that bit through the middle. So,
Now on my 80 series, we're lucky enough to have leftover paint from when we actually painted the car. So we're going to be able to use the exact same paint. We use that on the Barwork, so it's all going to match in perfectly. And we're also going to be using scratch resistant clear coat. The same scratch resistant clear we used on the car is going to be put on the Barwork as well. So it should turn out really good. Once it's all got colour, it's going to come alive, and I can't wait to see it. All right, so before we go pick up the 80 series of its new bar work, there's one last thing we got to do, and that is wheels and tyres. So I've come down here to see Nathan at Treadworks Lilydale. Now, the wheel and tyre package we're going is going to be pretty wild. We didn't want to just stick with the normal steel rim for, the build that we've done. It's turning out the car's been way more than I ever could have expected. So we'll go inside. I'll show you what we got sorted with Nathan, because it is pretty wild. Oh God.
I'll put a cap on one.
This is going to be like, this is gonna look wild. Like, I've always been like, just basic steel wheels, and then this is like the complete opposite of basic steelies. Oh, that looks good. That looks flash.
Love a bit of dad chrome. Big and shiny, big and shiny.
Yeah,
so
chrome gets you home. All right, so when it was the time to decide wheels and tyres, I came straight up to Nathan, because Nathan obviously does tyres, but he also does wheels as well. So it was awesome to go through them and just talk about what makes the rim different, why would I go this way over that way. So I knew I wanted something a bit more flashy on the 80, didn't want to put just, a standard, steel wheel on there. And we've gone for an alloy rim. Now, there's a few benefits of running alloy, isn't there?
Yeah, well, particularly with this one, it is a higher load than your standard steely. So typically, your average steel Sunraysia wheel is going to be about 1,250 kilos maximum load.
Yeah.
A lot of the ROH stuff now is sort of upped to sort of 1,500 kilos for your GBM upgrades and compliancy and all that sort of stuff. And surprisingly enough, although the 80s and GQ, GU fitment and stuff is, well, I mean, it's a very common vehicle, a lot of the wheel manufacturers are actually, these sorts of more modern style wheels are limited to dual cab fitments and offsets and stuff. So when you sort of wanted to go something machined, the ROH is sold, good quality wheel, machined, looks awesome. It's sort of a go-to. These are available in a 17.9, either neg 12 or neg 22. So that style of fitment is perfect for your vehicle. So this one's a neg 12 in a 17.9. So
that was exactly. We were trying to make it match the flares and not have crazy poke or anything. So it was good that we were able to get a rim that had the correct offset we needed, and it is slightly wider than my old steel wheels.
Well, that's it too. Yeah. So it'll basically, being a 9, it'll accept the true 35, 12 and a half tyre a little bit nicer and not be so bulgy.
And I guess that's the next thing. We've gone for a 35-inch tyre, which is a big step up, obviously, from having the 285s on there, which I had before. The main reason for going bigger was clearance. Obviously, the diffs and stuff were getting hung up heaps when we went forward driving, especially when we're trying to keep up with all the other, bigger cars out there. So having this is definitely going to give me that clearance. And not to mention, I think now with the lift as well, it will help suit the overall look of the car a bit better. We've got a Yokohama Geolandar G003, so the same mud tyre I ran on the car previously, and these were awesome. Like when we were off-road last year, the way they eject mud is, I think, beyond any other mud tyre I've used. So they've been really good for that. They don't get, turn to sleeks like, other tyres do. And the grip you get from the Yokohamas is just insane. Like pulling a 3.5 ton vehicle up a steep, shaly rock track, I just never had an issue with them losing traction. And even when we were way off the beaten path, traveling through thick scrub, climbing over logs, I never had a puncture. I never had the bead come off. They were just a very dependable tyre, and that's what you want when you're out in the bush. And not to mention that, how it drives on the road has been really good as well. Like we drove all the way to Queensland up on the highway, and then to be able to go straight from a highway straight to like a complete mud track has been really good, and they wore really well as well. So that's exactly what I've chosen for the 35s now. And then it's going to be really cool to see how the car looks with this on. I think it's going to complete the look of the car.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
So massive thanks to Nathan. He got all this sorted in like literally a couple of days, even before Christmas when he's flat out pulling his hair out. So massive thanks to Nathan. You're a legend.
Oh, no, it's all right. It's no stress.
And if you're looking for wheels and tyres for your car, come down and see Nathan at Treadworks Lilydale. He's literally doesn't just do tyres, he does heats and rims as well. So you can come here, talk to Nathan, and he actually goes behind, a bit of the engineering and science behind why you choose this rim over that rim. He's not just trying to sell you it based on how cool it looks. He wants you to get the right rim for your car, and that's
And look, the other thing is too, is that there's certain companies that are easy to deal with if and when there is ever a warranty thing. Not that we've really had any, but the guys at ROH are always really, looking to look after their product and accommodate with any issues, and they're straight on it. Same with the other guys that we deal with. So anything from dynamic wheels and tyres, things like your Elite off-road wheels, Dirty Life, Icon, PDW, Lenzo, Sniper wheels and stuff is sort of our favourites to deal with, and they've got a really good range. We do have plenty of other stuff as well, but there's a
whole showroom here, so you can come here, check out the wheels in person, see them all. And
it'd be nice to be able to get more wheels in there, but there's only so much space I can cram wheels into, but So, and look, the other thing is too, I just wanted to mention quickly off topic is we do car tyres. We love our 4Bs. But we get a lot of people going, when else? I only thought you did four-wheel drive stuff. We'll do everything from your wheelbarrow up to large four-wheel drive stuff. So,
100%. We take all our family's cars here. It doesn't matter what car it is. So they do it all. Awesome. Legend, Nathan. Thanks so much, man.
Champion, mate.
I can't wait. We'll bring it over once you get the car on, and we'll show you what it all looks like.
Yeah, that'll be fantastic. Good to see it.
All right, sweet. Another thing I've quickly gone done is new plates. Now, I didn't end up going, custom. I didn't end up going Garden State. I did ask about Garden State, and apparently they don't make them anymore. So my green Garden State ones were, the last of the last. But it's got new black slimline plates because I think they're going to match the Barwork better. And I couldn't have, the front plate was literally like destroyed. So rusting away. I couldn't put it back on the car if I wanted to. So so new plates, new number. There you go. There's my number. And maybe one day we'll get customs, but I think, I don't really care too much. So that'll do. But I think it'll help complete the overall new look of the vehicle. So All right, so Rob's getting the car out the front looking smick. and we're going to drive over there now just from Treadworks, and Paddy's going to see it for the first time. Over there. Oh, no way! That's my car? That looks insane. All right, let me park this. Hang on, where are we going? Rob!
It's a little bit different.
Mike, it's a whole different car. Like, it looks so different. Oh my God. The color match though. Oh, the color match looks so freaking good.
It's definitely not the old crap car.
Oh, Rob, this looks absolutely incredible. Like, this looks insane.
Very cool. I'll do the back. See ya.
Oh, we'll do a full walkthrough of this whole thing. My God, this is. Oh. Yeah, it looks so good. That looks so freaking good.
I was feeling a little bit sad about it, too, like with the old wheels on it.
Oh, yeah, you need those.
And then I put the wheels on, like, oh, nah.
Nah, it looks so good with them. All right, well, let's walk through this car front to back and go through everything you've done on it because it looks incredible. Looks like a different car. So yeah, let's go to the front and get started. This is obviously the first generation of this new Dallas bull bar.
Yep, so this is the prototype.
Yeah.
This is number one. Aaron's knocked it out the park like normal. It went straight on, no glitches, like straight off the computer. It's got a lot of different things for us, a very small top pit, so it's got new tooling to make all this.
It looks so good at the front. Like, it is crazy to think how real tight it is. Like, you don't.
It's literally like 40 mil.
You got to see it in person or look down this line, you'll see it, but it gives the approach angle is wild.
Well, we wanted that, like, so it's up nice and high to cover the indicators, but also wanted it super snug, like it's super aggressive, but you know, a lot of people like yourself, you're not a big tube bar person. So this is
exactly, it gives you that, and it looks really good, curry points, and it turned out looking really nice. So, but no, it looks so good from the front. It's really changed the whole look of the car, and I love it. I guess moving around the side, brush bars. We've finally put brush bars on the 80 series, so that's an awesome feature. I reckon they mesh in really well with the red flares.
And it's all super snug. You having the wide flare, obviously.
Yeah.
And these being an aftermarket flare,
I
think they might even be a little bit juicier again than the normal one, because they're super snug, which is cool.
Yeah.
These are our new, like a Revolution slider.
Yeah.
So removable top. So we always say, like, you can customize them. So as yours, we've got your logo in it.
Yep.
Massive center foot. They're a folded sheet metal foot. And then the front's got a bolt-in one. We do multiple different fronts. So we're talking about all the different exhausts that 80's come out with the other day.
It is pretty cool having the old Aussie Arvos logo in there. I have to say, it's kind of just, you know, it's a once in a lifetime sort of build. So when Rob's like, oh, we can put a logo in there, I'm like, all right, you have to do it. Like, it's just looks really
subtle,
cool.
but
it's subtle, but it's good. It's just a little cool thing. So
rear bar.
Rear bar. This is what I was so excited to see, the rear bar.
So yeah, big wing brace, super skinny wing. The whole bar's up if you get it from side on.
Oh yeah, the clearance is
flush with the rail. Obviously there's a lot of controversy over the back of these cars and some people cut them and all that. And if you're that sort of hardcore, I guess that's a great option if that suits you. We wanted to try to do something that's just anyone can put on. It's legal, you don't have to do engineering or anything. So like I said, there's multiple options on the market. I've tried to go as aggressive as we can without modifying the car, because like all of them, your one is included, fuel tanks and all that still bolt to a lot of those.
Exactly right. So uses all.
It didn't want to have to remount all those things. So obviously the tow bar, you'd taken it off because you used to bottom it out. So tow bar's gone from being underneath to it's two folded sections. So it's like an 8 and a 10 mil combo, and the main body's 6 mil. And they're all folded. So you got an L around the rail, and then the whole bar's obviously a 6 mil folded C, and then it's got big plates in between it that laminate it all together. This one is only like, I think it's 25 or 28 mil further back than what our normal bar was. So it's definitely further back, but it's not as much as what everyone thinks. And what we tried to do with this, because I know how easy, actually from one of the trips I've done recently when they're just skull dragging the cars over rock. So we've got a really, really big 6 mil fold on the bottom so that you've got something flat to drag along and it can't catch and peel.
That's exactly what was happening in my old bar.
So like I say, it's just another option. We'll still keep our other one, because if you do a lot of towing, I think having the one underneath and having less drop and all that, it's probably the better option if you're not full hardcore.
Exactly.
It's just having an option for everyone.
I don't tow, like, I've never towed actually before, but it's just cool knowing it's there and knowing, hey, if I need to get a trail to A to B, I can do it, you know?
You'll just take your motorbike trail up the bush and all that. This is aimed at the people who are going to go up the bush a lot. want the optimum clearance, but still want that option.
Yeah, please.
If you look from a distance, like now your fuel tank's the...
Yeah, that's the last point.
Yeah, extra little bit of distance out's a small price to pay for gaining this much underneath.
Exactly, yeah, I think so too.
But yeah, I love these. So it's got a spot for an Anderson.
Yeah.
Obviously cannot damage them, but super easy access.
Yeah.
They got our new cool lights, which are all tinted.
I'm
I love them.
Yeah, they look sick.
These are also the recovery point or a bolt-on thing. So if you don't want them there, like if you just want to have obviously everything up and obviously just use the recovery hitch, you can. So yeah, obviously all on struts, modular carrier. So 10 options you can put on here. So we've got ladders, gas bottle holders, obviously little shelf, even the shelf that goes up here, which most people don't know about. Oh, and our water tank, which bolts in between. So got a million things, and you can chop and change it. Stoppers and everything are integrated part of the hub. So you can't see the contact point, so it stays neat.
Super clean.
All got the light pole bit built in, like option for a light pole. And we were talking about this is adjustable, so any wheel offset, keep the tyre in from the side of the car, even with a big tyre. But then when you're on twin wheels, we have offset ones, so you can offset it out to be able to fit two.
Yeah.
So even though like this is a 35, if you look down the side, we're still in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's perfect.
And I think, I don't know, I think sheet metal front bar and sheet metal rear and colour coding things, I know some people you're either about it or not, but geez, it takes it to another level.
Oh yeah, it does.
I'm a big fan.
Yeah, nah, it looks so good. I'm actually mind blown on how good this car looks. Like, I felt like I said this last time I got painted, like I was lost for words. Like, it doesn't feel real yet that is what my car is. Like, it just feels like, oh, someone's very clean 80 series, but like, no, it's the old 80, and it just looks so different. Like, yeah, it's insane.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, it's very dirty right now, but
Oh, it looks terrible.
but yeah, nah, it's going pretty well.
So this is what they look like when they were brand new.
Yeah,
that's what's crazy to think.
I mean, I'm old as shit, and I don't think I've ever seen one without missing clear coat. Like that, just...
Yeah.
Wow.
Nah, it turned out pretty well. All right, so that's all the bar work now on the 80, and you saw us start from essentially CAD when it was just an idea to what it is today, and Rob, gotta say, you guys have killed it. Like, it looks so freaking good. And the best part is, I guess all this stuff is available right now on your website. So if you're looking for a new bar for your 80, new rear bar, this whole new generation of Dallas bar is on there. So
yeah, ready to rock.
That'll be really good. So thanks so much for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the episode. This is our last episode of the year, so Merry Christmas, everyone. Hope you all have a good new year. And yeah, we'll see you next year, 2025, for some big trips and heaps of stuff on Aussie Arvos. We'll see you then.